This program goes back a few years, and the origin of this was that the French National Cancer Institute and the AVSN in their 2009-2013 cancer plan recognized that the current preclinical models for testing new therapeutics are not sufficient. I mean, they are based on artificial tumors in mice predominantly, and even though mice have been excellent and imperative for our understanding of the molecular pathway of cancer, they are not sufficient to test new therapies. So new models were needed, right? And about just a little bit before this, the dog genome had been sequenced, and comparative oncology studies started to show that the molecular pathway in dog cancers and spontaneous tumors in dogs and those in humans show great similarities. Furthermore, earlier trials have also shown that dogs respond similar to established treatments. And this really made it interesting to further look into maybe to exploit spontaneous tumors in dogs as a better or additional preclinical model system for new therapeutics. It became obvious that if one could link up veterinary with human oncology, then and establish clinical trials, then that would benefit not only veterinary medicine in the terms of new treatments for dog cancer, but the results from such studies could then help in developing or setting up trials for human cancers. And this is really at the stage where we are right now. We're trying to get clinical and veterinary oncology together. So this then opened up the possibility that one can establish trials in spontaneous tumors in dogs that will benefit veterinary oncology. And at the same time, the outcome of such trials, the data from them, could be used by the clinician to better predict the clinical outcome in human cancer. So this is sort of a win-win situation for both veterinary oncologists and human oncologists. And this is the basis why we think that this program has chances of being successful. So what we did was to invite veterinary and clinical oncologists from basically from France and from the UK, and to see what could be done. And this discussion was ongoing, and we realized a few things. One was that the spontaneous tumors in dogs are an excellent model for new therapy development because the spontaneous tumors have an intact microenvironment. And also because dogs, certain breeds have a certain frequency, increased frequency of certain types of tumors. It's also an excellent model for identifying biomarkers that can predispose or predict the predisposition for cancers. And thirdly, we also believe that this kind of models is going to be excellent for developing new types of imaging, which can benefit the veterinary industry directly, but again, it can also potentially benefit human medicine. So 2 years ago, we launched a program in France in which we set aside funding for where these integrated comparative oncology projects can be taken on. At the same time, we're also establishing a pan-European network because we realize that no European country alone has the sufficient veterinary oncology to carry out this program. And this is something we are now currently establishing. So now we are at the stage on the French level and on a pan-European level, and also with our American partners, to become sufficiently organized to invite industrial partners to participate in this consortium, where they will have access to the tumor material. They will be able to test their compounds in organized trials throughout Europe and perhaps also with America. And we will also have access to material, and where we will be able to look for certain biomarkers that can predispose for cancer development. The latter is quite interesting, I think, from the veterinary oncology point of view, because certain breeds, like I mentioned, have a higher frequency of developing cancer. And if one can identify those mechanisms or those markers, perhaps certain breeds will have a less frequency of getting cancer. So if any partners now are interested in joining us, we're really open for discussion, and we can give better information on what we're really doing on different aspects, like I mentioned, biomarkers, clinical trials, and imaging development. And this is a really interesting project, and it's attracting a lot of interest from the human oncology side and the human pharmaceutical industry, and really hope that the veterinary pharmaceutical industry will also join in this. And together I think it could be a very, very exciting program.